Hi folks, so in this video here what we're going to do is complete a question here based on the topic of polygons, and specifically a question here based on a pentagon. Now we know what a pentagon, it is a five-sided figure where a regular pentagon has all the sides that are the same length. Now this question here is based on the Chrysler logo, which is a car company. And as you can see, what we have is we have a pentagon on the outside, okay, but on the inside we have all these series of blue triangles, okay, and you can see the interior angles of those triangles are at 50 degrees, so they are all isosceles triangles, okay, and they're going all the way around the outsides of the pentagon edges. So first of all, before we actually start this, we need to actually draw the pentagon. So it's a regular pentagon where all the sides and all the angles are the same. Okay, so if we look at the length of the pentagon, we have a base length here from this point here to this point here of 80. So that's what we're going to start with. We're going to start by drawing a pentagon that has a base length of 80 millimeters. So starting kind of down here, I'm going to do a construction line to start off with, and on that line I'm now going to measure 80 millimeters. So pick anywhere on that line. I'm going to pick a start point of about here. I'm going to measure then from there over as far as here, and that's my 80. Okay, so having done that now, put it in a little bit darker. So having done that, what I'm going to do now is I have to use the exterior angle of a pentagon to be able to draw it. And the exterior angle of a pentagon is 72 degrees. Why is it 72? Well, you have 5 sides on a pentagon. Sorry, looking at the screen here, 5 sides on a pentagon, and all those 5 sides are going to divide into 360 degrees. 360 divided by 5 works out the exterior angle at 72 degrees. So, putting the center point of my protractor onto the point that I want to measure from, making sure the 0 is resting on the line so I'm measuring accurately. And before I do that, I'm actually just going to put up a line here so I have a guide. Nice and light. Just helps me see it a little bit better. Now, fully accurate there. So, reading around 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and I'm gone up here to 70, 71, 72. Remember, we're moving in this direction. So 70 is here, and don't go backwards, that'll bring you back to 68, 72. Okay, do the exact same over on this side. Reading accurately, reading this way, 0 all the way around to 70, and then 71, 70 going towards 80, 71, 72. Now that I've done that, I'm going to draw in my construction lines, and those lines are now drawn at an angle of 72 degrees. Okay, now that I've done that, all the sides of a regular pentagon are going to be the same length. So I'm going to use my compass now to get 80 millimeters on my compass, just like that. I'm going to swing an arc, and that arc is 80 millimeters away. Okay, do it here. Now if you wanted, you could swing the arc the whole way like that, but I'm just going to cut the lines there. Now that I've got 3 sides, I now need to find the topmost point. How do I do that? I'm now going to position my compass right here on this point that I just found, okay, by using my arc, and I'm going to swing an arc. Once again, this arc is 80 millimeters. If I swing an arc into the space there, well, that arc there that I just described is 80 millimeters away from this point. Anywhere along that arc, this point, all the way along is 80 millimeters away from there. I'm going to come over to the opposite side, swing an arc, and once again, with this arc, well, that arc, anywhere along that arc there is 80 millimeters away from this point. And the point where they intersect is a point that is both 80 millimeters away from both this point and this point. So that is the common point. So now we're going to join those up. So move my equipment here. Join this one to here. And join this one to here. Before you know it, we have our pentagon. So now the challenge is drawing the 5 isosceles triangle on the inside. Now there is a long way about this and there is a quick way. So I'll explain the long way, but I will be drawing it the quick way. So as you can see, each triangle starts 5 millimeters in from the edge, from the vertex of the pentagon. So if we measure in 5 and measure in 5. Okay, so if we start with the base triangle, so I'm going to measure in 5 millimeters. That gives me a point right there. And then 5 millimeters from this one gives me a point right there. Once again, those 2 points are quite hard to see, so I'm just going to do a little line up as well. There's the 5 millimeter gap. Now they're just construction lines. Okay, you would have them a little bit lighter just for the demonstration of this video. I put them in a little bit heavier. So from this point here and this point here, I'm going to be doing an angle of 50 degrees to create the triangle. Okay, it's an isosceles triangle where the two base angles are the same. So now, using my protractor once again, resting it on this point this time, making sure the 0 is resting on the line. 0 is resting on the line. I want to measure from, going straight up, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Follow the 50 out, get to there. Okay, I want to draw in my line. Okay, there's the first side. Now I have to get the other side. So putting the center point of my protractor on this point, making sure the 0 is resting on the line. Happy with that. Reading around this way, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So there's my 50 there. Make a little mark. Happy with that. Draw my line. Okay, so there I have my isosceles triangle. That is the first bit of information I can now heavy in. So I'll heavy in this bit. And heavy in the other two sides. So just using the protractor here, it's just as good as using the set squares. So there is my isosceles triangle. Okay, now our challenge here that we're faced with is we have to get 4 more isosceles triangle on the outside. Okay, or sorry, on the inside. How am I going to do that? So what I can do, okay, first of all, is I have to measure 5 millimeters in from each vertex of the pentagon. So from here and here, I have to measure 5 millimeters in. So I'm going to do that now. So 5 there. This is 80 here, so I'll measure it again. And 5. Do the exact same with this one up here. 5 and 5. Same with this one here. And they're all 80, they're working out perfect. So my pentagon was drawn accurately. Okay, I'm just making those marks a little bit more prominent on the screen. We can see them there. So that is going to be where all the outside edges are going to be. Now, the long way of going about this is you could take your protractor, put the center point of the protractor on, let's say, this point here, and make sure the 0 is resting on the line that I'm measuring from. I could go about doing it this way. And doing it like that and measuring 50 degrees there and draw my line up, and then do the same from this one by going down like this. Okay, and reading around to 50 degrees this way. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, and I could get my triangle again. Now, that is one way I could do it, but it is a little bit longer. What's helpful here is all these triangles, every one of them is the same because all the base lines are the same length and all the base angles are the same degrees. Okay, because in each side I measured in 5. So all we can do then is, it's really easy, because I figured out technically the length of this side here, that point right there, from this edge, or from this vertex here, of the triangle, this corner, up to the apex, which is the top of the triangle, I can take that distance on my compass, and then what I can do is, I can position my compass in all the 5 millimeter marks marked in. So put it there on this point, and if you swing an arc into the space, and then put it on the opposite one, using the same side, and swing an arc into the space. Okay, and before you know it, where the two arcs cross each other, is my triangle. Now I've got 2 triangles, I need to get the other 3. So using the same distance, just checking my distance again. Yeah, so from here, swing an arc into the space. So there's my arc. Go to this point, swing an arc into the space. Okay, that's the point there for this side. Now I'm going to do the same with this one. Swing an arc into the space, up to the top, swing an arc into the space. Okay, that's the one for this side. And finally, over here, swing an arc into the space, and then this one up here. Okay, and all we're going to do now is draw all those triangles in. Nice and accurate. Okay, now that I've drawn all my triangles in, simply a case now having all that information in. So I'm going to use my set square for this now. Okay, there's that one. You continue the sequence. 3 of them done. Four, and then finally onto the last one. Okay, there we have it, folks. That there is the Chrysler logo, where you can see distinguish between my construction and my finish lines. Now obviously I know I'm using a marker. On the day or that you're drawing inside in class, you'll obviously just be going harder with your pencil for the finish lines. But there you have it, guys. That there is the Chrysler logo based on the principle of a pentagon, and how we use the isosceles triangle. Once we had it figured out, once we used the quick method of obviously using the compass to be able to work out the apex for all the other 4. Okay, hope you found it helpful, guys. That's the video done.